Today we're taking a look at these NFL matches, which are happening on Sunday, December 11th, 2022, and giving you match breakdowns, betting tips and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes. Before we dive into our video, don't forget to subscribe and push that notification bell to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos. Also, check out our perks and join the High Stakes membership. Joining the High Stakes membership is easy, is cheap, but it will help a lot in the growth process of this channel. Plus, if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. Multiple plans are available for each and every one of you. By becoming a member of the High Stakes Patreon, you will have access to our best team picks, total picks, parlay picks and much more. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting predictions that ends up costing you a lot of time and money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks. Going back to our video, we will give you 2 betting picks for each game, a team pick and a total pick based on facts and detailed explanation. One more thing before we start, check out our new channel High Stakes Props and Parlays, where you can find our player props and parlay picks predictions. You will find the link in the description and comments section below. And make sure to watch our videos till the end so you don't miss any of our picks. New York Giants vs Philadelphia Eagles. Even though they'll be on the road in this one, the Giants will be liking their chances to come away with an easy win. It helps that Philadelphia has the best player in the game on their side of things, and with Jalen Hurts leading the way, they'll be able to move the ball with ease. In games against some of the league's worst rush defenses, the Eagles have dominated, which seems likely to be the case in this one. For New York, battling injuries isn't helping matters, and at this time, they simply don't have the firepower on offense to keep pace with the number of points that the Eagles can put up. Additionally, according to covers.com, the Eagles are 4-0 ATS against a team with a winning record, while the Giants are 1-7 ATS in their last 8 games in December. Although the New York Giants are struggling with injuries this season, they have still proved they can get things done on the field. Last week they put up 20 points against the Commanders despite being without their best receivers, and I expect them to find a way to do that against the Eagles. The Eagles' only loss was against the Commanders, so if the Giants can compete with them without their key players, they can compete against the Eagles. Philadelphia is without the NFL's interception leader, so that will take a lot of pressure away from Jones and the Giants' passing game. The Eagles can put points on the board quickly, and I expect them to do so against a defense that struggles to force turnovers. I expect this to be a competitive, high-scoring affair. Take the over 44.5 points. Cincinnati Bengals vs Cleveland Browns. The Browns are playing well at the moment and come into this game on a 2-game winning streak. They will try to keep the momentum going with a win over the Bengals, which will give them their 3rd win in a row, and the season series sweep. Cleveland is averaging 24.2 points per game. They are throwing for 214.8 yards and rushing for 156 yards per game. Deshaun Watson completed 55% of his passes for 131 yards and 1 interception in his first game back after serving an 11-game suspension. Nick Chubb had 17 carries for 80 yards, while Donovan Peoples-Jones had 3 catches for 44 yards. The Bengals have been on a roll over the past month and come into this game on a 4-game winning streak. They will try to keep the momentum going with a win over the Browns, which will give them their 5th win in a row and 7th win in their last 8 games. Cincinnati is averaging 26 points per game. They are throwing for 271.5 yards and rushing for 100.9 yards per game. Joe Burrow completed 81% of his passes for 286 yards and 2 touchdowns in the win over the Chiefs. Samaje Perine had 21 carries for 106 yards, while Jamar Chase had 7 catches for 97 yards. The Bengals have won 6 of their last 7 games and 4 straight home games, with their only loss coming in a blowout against the Browns. They have been on a tear offensively since that loss, scoring at least 27 points in 3 of their last 4 games. They have the 4th best passing attack in the league and a very good ground game that will be getting a boost with the return of Joe Mixon, who missed their last game because of a concussion. The Browns aren't very good defensively and they've struggled against the pass. They don't get a lot of pressure on opposing quarterbacks, which will be a problem against Burrow, who has thrown only 2 interceptions in their last 4 games. They've also struggled against the run and will have a hard time slowing down the Bengals. The Browns have lost 6 of their last 9 games and 3 of their last 4 road games. They have played well offensively and rely heavily on the run, with the league's 4th-ranked ground game. Even though they got Watson back last week, he looked rusty under center against a bad Houston defense. The Bengals have done well against the run, especially in their last 3 games, holding opponents under 105 rushing yards per game, so expect them to stack the box and force Watson to beat them with his arm, which isn't going to happen. Go with Cincinnati to cover the spread. Take the Cincinnati Bengals minus 5.5 points. Watson threw for just 131 yards last week in his first start in nearly 2 years. The Browns will focus on running the ball in this game. Even though the Browns' defense has struggled, Cincinnati is likely to be able to build an early lead and focus on running the ball in this important divisional game. The Bengals' offensive line has been playing better during the team's 4-game winning streak, and Cincinnati's running game with Perrine and Mixon is strong. This should be a lower scoring game. Take the under. Tennessee Titans vs Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jacksonville Jaguars have been a hard team to figure out this season. They have shown flashes of being a competitive team with wins over the Chargers and Ravens, but then they lay an egg like they did last week at Detroit, losing 40-14. Now the Lions are playing excellent football right now, so it's not like losing the Lions of earlier this year, but still, to get blown out by 26 points is unacceptable, considering they were just a 1.5-point underdog coming into the game. So here they are, sitting at 4-8, 3 full games behind the Titans in the division. The good news is, the Tennessee Titans play in the worst division in football, and they have a commanding lead at 7-5. The bad news is they have lost 2 straight and are 7-5 on the season. Now, there's no way they don't make the playoffs playing in that terrible division, but they did just lose to 2 playoff-bound teams in a row, Cincinnati and Philadelphia. In fact, all 5 of their losses have come against likely playoff teams, as they have also lost to the Giants, Bills and Chiefs. Said another way, the Titans have not beaten a good team all season, unless you count the Commanders, but you could argue that the Commanders were not good yet, as Carson Wentz was still the quarterback. I am not a believer at all in the Tennessee Titans. They are first-round playoff loss waiting to happen. They are a one-trick pony, and if you can stop Derrick Henry, you can stop the Titans. That is a tall order, as Henry is among the best in the business, but teams have done it with great success, like the Eagles last week. The Jags have a decent run defense, ranking 13th in rushing yards against, and should be able to at least slow him down, and dare beat up Tannehill and his depleted receiving core to beat them. The Titans are not good against the pass, so Lawrence will need to step up here, a big if. But this game has a field goal differential written all over it, as the Titans don't have enough offense to blow anyone out. Take the Jags getting 4 points. If the line moves to 3 or below, you may want to reconsider. Take Jacksonville plus 4 points. The Jaguars traveled to Detroit on Sunday to play the Lions and lost by a final score of 40-14. The Lions dominated this game on offense. They didn't have to punt the entire game, and defense, they limited the Jags' rushing game to a total of 95 yards. The Jaguars' QB Trevor Lawrence passed for 179 yards passing and 1 touchdown and no interceptions. He got banged up and has a toe injury coming in, but is expected to play. Leading the rushing for the Jags was Travis Etienne for 54 yards, out of a total of 95 yards total Jags rushing for the game. Etienne lost a fumble early in the game, allowing the Lions to punch in a field goal a couple of series later. The receiving leader was Christian Kirk, who caught 104 yards on 6 catches. The total offense for the Jaguars was 266 yards. These teams are generally under teams, with the Jags recently switching over for the last couple of games for over outings. These are outliers. Getting beaten badly by Detroit, for example, led to some higher than usual points. Tennessee is no high flyer in this regard, ranking 30th in the league in passing yards at 171.4 and having a slightly permeable defensive secondary, but excellent defense where it counts. Rushing, red zone, and third down conversion rates by opponents. Trevor Lawrence for the Jags is rumored to be not completely healthy after last week's crushing by Detroit. Watch for Tennessee to control the pace of this game by using their frustrating ability to the opposing team's ability to get into the end zone. The trends also point to under, as under is 6-0 in Titans' last 6 versus AFC opponents, and under is 5-1 in the Jaguars' last 6 games, following an ATS loss. Take the under 41.5 points and watch the Titans stuff the Jaguars when it counts.